BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday's edition of BodyBags. This week is Scream Factory week. We're going to be reviewing a film that was released by Scream Factory. And today I'm going to review for you guys The Incredible Melting Man. Hopefully you guys can see that. Not sure, but anyway, I'm pretty sure this is Scream Factory. It does say Shout Factory on the back. I know that's the same company, but Shout Factory puts out more non-horror, and then Scream Factory does the horror, but it does have a Scream Factory insert on the inside, so I'm assuming it's Scream Factory. Anyway, Incredible Melting Man was made in 1977. It's actually a childhood favorite of mine. It's something I used to watch all the time. Basically, the story of Incredible Melting Man is about an astronaut named Steve West. Him and two other astronauts are in space, basically somewhere around Saturn, around the rings of Saturn, and they're actually, like, while in space, watching the sun. Of course, something happens where some type of, like, radiation hits the astronauts, and before you know it, Steve's in the hospital, you know, wrapped up in gauze and, you know, all that stuff. Doctors are trying to figure out basically what happened to him. Of course, he's the only lone survivor. The other two astronauts did not make it. And Steve wakes up, you know, takes off all his body wrap and realizes that he is melting. Supposedly his brain has already been turned to mush, so he kind of has like no thought process. All he wants to do is basically kill, but in order to stay alive, he has to eat human flesh. That's pretty much what it is. Of course, he escapes the hospital, and that's when he begins his little journey and his search to find humans to eat. It started off with the nurse in the hospital, and then, you know, goes on from there. There is a doctor, I cannot remember his name, but he knew who Steve was, and he goes out trying to find Steve while Steve is leaving a trail of bodies for him. And, you know, every day he's melting, you know, little by little. Basically, that's what The Incredible Melting Man is really, that's really all it's about. Just a guy that's, you know, full of radiation, melting, and the more people he eats, the longer he'll live. My thoughts on the film. First of all, I want to say, the strange thing is, I kind of think that this is cut, because there are certain pictures on this DVD. I'm going to try to show you guys. If you see here, you see the Incredible Melting Man choking the nurse. That is the nurse that he kills at the beginning. It's also on the back. Now, the thing is they never actually show that scene in the film. They do show him chasing her down the hallway, but then after that it kind of cuts to where the doctors have her body sitting inside the morgue. So they never show that scene, so it kind of makes me wonder as to whether or not this is cut, or if it's a scene that they weren't able to find or restore for this Blu-ray. But for a 1977 film, the effects on him were great. You know, the body melt, the hands, the way his face looked, it was great special effects. The movie is cheesy. There's scenes in this film that are like so out of place, like there's a scene where they're in the middle of nowhere, and of course, you know, you have the sheriff there, and they find the body, and the doctor's talking to one of the sheriffs, and for some strange reason, there's like two bystanders just standing there, really have no place in the scene. I don't know why it was there. There's also another scene with an old couple going to pick lemons from a lemon grove, and they get spooked and they take off running, and for some reason they show a dog make it look like it's chasing the old people, but it's really not. Um, it's like, why did they even have to add that to the film? It's just, little quirky things like that, but it's a really fun film. It's something I used to love when I was younger, and now that I finally got to revisit it, yes, it's a bit cheesy, but it still holds up. For me, it does. I think it's very entertaining. I love the effects of the melting man, especially at the end when he, fully melts. Spoiler, sorry guys, but I think it's a really cool film. Beautiful release. They did a great job on this Blu-ray. It does, the beginning when it shows space, it does look a little grainy, but once the credits start to roll and the film starts, a lot of the colors, like old 70s type decorations with colorful wall hangings and stuff, it looks fantastic, man. Great transfer. If I had to give this out of 5 stars, I would still give it a 3 because it's nostalgia for me. I know a lot of people probably aren't going to like this film because it might be a little bit too cheesy for them. But this is something I grew up on, and I loved it then, and I still love it. I think it's a great film. So definitely give Incredible Melting Man a shot. To be honest, this is probably one classic film that I could see them making a decent remake as long as they used practical effects and not shitty-ass CGI. Or a sequel, because the film kind of let off like they were starting another mission of astronauts going to the same spot. So, they can actually make a sequel of this happening again. But, yeah, guys, that's my review for you guys on BodyBags. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more reviews for the rest of this week from all the great people part of BodyBags. And I'll see you next week. Deuces.